First of all, we have these are solved equations, not factorized equations. Factorized equations have no equal to zero sign. Solved equations all have an equal sign. Solved equations are only done when you have x equals at the end. Because it's a quadratic equation, it means there's two answers for x in every question. So you should have two answers for x at the end of each question. I'm going to do question 15 to begin with, purely because question 15 is exactly the same as question 9 and question 12. Except what's the only difference? 2 is on the other side, so I'm quickly going to fix that. I'm going to say 5x squared plus 3x minus 2 equals 0. So you can see that question 15 now looks exactly like question 9 and question 12. Yes, sir?
Why are we saying minus 0?
Huh?
Minus 2. Why are we saying minus 2?
I brought the 2 from the right hand side of the equals, where it was a plus 2, to the left hand side of the equals, where it's now a minus 2. Anytime you cross over the equal sign, you change, addition changes into subtraction, multiplication turns into division, division turns into multiplication. Yes? Happy? Yeah, right. Now, 5 times 2, guys? Minus 10. Two numbers that multiply to give me minus 10, but will add to give me plus 3. Minus 2 and plus 5, excellent. Doesn't matter what order. I generally like to put I like to keep them the same if I can. I find it easier. Okay. Everybody happy with that? Next step. What's it? 5x into x plus 1 minus 2 into x plus 1 equals 0. Then what, guys? 5x minus 2 into x plus 1. Nearly there. X plus 1 equals 0. It's plus 1 on the left hand side, so when I change it over to the other side, minus 1. Likewise, 5x minus 2 equals 0. The minus 2 is minus on the left, which makes it plus on the right. That 5 is multiplication of 5. So what happens when the 5 crosses over? Turns into division of 5. Okay. Has anybody got any questions on that? With question 18 there, guys, look at this. With question 18, what we have is, I'm going to have to multiply this out, as it turns out. Okay? If I had x plus 3 and x minus 5 equals 0, what could I do? That's pretty much the end of the question, isn't it? I'd say x minus 5 equals 0, x equals 5. X plus 3 equals 0, x equals minus 3. However, because there's a 9 there, I'm not allowed to do that at all. And no, you can't just turn these into 9s. It doesn't work that way. Here's what you do. You multiply it back out again. So you multiply back out, you get x squared minus 5x plus 3x minus 15. The 9 is a plus 9 on the left, which means it's a minus 9. Sorry, it's a plus 9 on the right hand side of the equals, which makes it a minus 9 on the left hand side of the equals. Now you're going to get x squared minus 2x minus 15 minus 9. Now, two numbers that make minus 24 but differ by minus 2. They differ by 10. Plus 4 and minus 6. Do you have to do this the long way? Why not? It's a 1x squared, so you can do it the short way. So you can go x plus 4 and x minus 6 equals 0. Finally, x plus 4 equals 0, x equals minus 4, and x equals, anybody? 6. Okay, the next one. 21 and 24 are actually very similar, okay? I'm going to do 24 because it'll do the same trick. So guys, when I do 24, look what happens. So with 24, my golden rule is I have to have a 0 on the right hand side, don't I? Do I have a 0 on the right hand side? Currently I don't. But then when I bring the 4x over, do I have a 0 on the right hand side? Okay. Is this a reference number question where I have to figure out two numbers that multiply to give this and add to give this? It's not, because there's usually 1, 2, 3 of them. How many do I have here? 2. Is it the difference of two squares? Why? They have a letter in common, don't they? What's the letter they have in common? X bracket 5x minus 4 equals 0. So there's two answers. It's either x equals 0, basically this part here. Oh dear, that did not mean that. Okay, let's go again. I have no idea what I just did there. But anyways, we'll get rid of it. There we go. So it's the x on the outside equals 0, okay? Now, next we're going to do 5x minus 4 equals 0. What next then? 5x, where does the 4 go? Then the 5 goes underneath, and what happens? 4 5. You cool with that? Any questions? Yes sir, give me a sec.
Yeah.
Question 30. Is question 30 the difference of two squares? How do I know it's the difference of two squares though? What guarantees it? Yes sir. They're both square numbers, and what else guarantees it? The fact that there's a minus in the middle. Yeah? If this was 4x squared minus 1x, it's not the difference of two squares. Why? Because, yeah. Well, there's a letter in common, isn't there? So you should always, if there's a letter in common, always take out the letter in common. Do they have a letter in common? No. So this is 2x 2e minus 1 squared. What's next then? 2x plus 1 and 2x minus 1, or the other way around. And then I have to do both brackets, so what's the answer then? 2x plus 1 equals 0, 2x minus 1 equals 0, 2x equals minus 1, 2x equals plus 1, x equals a half, x equals minus a half. Alright. So guys, I was asked to just wrap this in a bracket, and yeah, that will work exactly the same, and you're technically more correct than I am, so keep doing that. Okay? So yeah, you're perfect with telling me to do that. Alright? Now, alright guys, David, you have the list of questions I just did?
Yeah.
Right.